What's going on, everybody? Right here, we're looking at a vintage World War II M3 knife and the M8 fiberglass scabbard. What a real piece of history here. Man, that's a nice tight fit in that sheath. This is the M3 trench knife, standard Army issue, I believe, beginning in 1943. But I'm not an expert on historical knives like this. Now, this one is manufactured by ACC, and ACC is the Aerial Cutlery Company, no longer around, of course. They were one of the smallest manufacturers of this knife in World War II, so I guess that would make this particular M3 a bit more on the rare side than some other ones out on the market. I don't know who the biggest one was, probably Camillus or something. Now we're going to sharpen this knife up for my buddy Danny Jackson, who I've sharpened other knives for in the past here on the channel. Now we're going to use my Work Sharp here. This is the Work Sharp Precision Adjust. I'm going to see how this does on the M3. Get this nice and tight here. And we'll start off on the coarse grit at a 20-degree angle. We're just going up and down and up and down. Make sure we get that tip nice and sharp. And I can see, we're creating a good edge bevel here. Now, I've never sharpened a blade this long, I don't think, on this Work Sharp Precision Adjust. So we're going to bring that to the edge of the table, flip it around over here, and do the other side. Get that tip. I'm sure this is made out of 1095 steel. Something similar, 1075 or whatnot. Okay, that should be good here. I'm going to flip this back over to the other side, and we're going to change the stone over to the finer grit. Now, this knife is no bushcraft knife, that is for sure. It is a through and through fighting knife. This thin spear point blade feel would definitely not be the best for bushcraft type tasks or hunting or anything like that. It is made for plunging into the heart of a Nazi. Alright, flip the blade over. Sharpen this side. try to make sure I'm in frame while I'm doing this, or else there's no point in this video. I'm not talking too much here. Now, you will certainly see the M3 knife in historic films like, you know, in particular, the Band of Brothers series that HBO did. Definitely M3 knives there. You'll see them in many people's gear in that series. Definitely probably the top show for World War II paratroopers, who often would strap the M3 to their calf when jumping out of the planes. Now we switched to the ceramic rod here. Put a fine edge on this. All right, move to the other side here. Polish up that edge. I actually I rewatched Band of Brothers not too long ago. Always a great series, and you know, it's not like dated or anything like that, in my opinion. I think it was made in 2000, maybe 2001, somewhere around there. You know, any sort of special effects that would have been used in the series, if any. You know, there's nothing that looks like nonsense today. It's wonderfully acted and tells a great story of American heroes in World War II. Here, let's take the knife out. Flip this back over. Oh, wrong way. Let's flip that over. Loosen that. We'll take it over to the leather strap, like this. Let's see if we can get any remaining burrs off of that edge. Start on the other side. All right, we definitely got a sharp tip here. I got to get some new paper down here. Wow. That is still really dull. Okay. No problem. Look at that, guys. I'm slicing into this and nothing. But, you know, back to the drawing board. I'm not going to film it all again for you. We're going through the same steps. Just doing it over again. Now, if you're familiar with the M3, this upper edge is also sharpened from here forward. And the Work Sharp Precision Adjust is not really made for sharpening double-edged knife. You know, if I were to sharpen this in here, I'd have to put the sharp edge into the clamp here. And I don't want to risk damaging that edge that we just kind of put on, even though it's still super dull. So for the top edge, I want to see if we can use this Work Sharp, or not Work Sharp, Spyderco Sharp Maker to sharpen that top edge there. So we will use this and stand up here and watch what I'm doing. you know what? Maybe I'll just sharpen the main edge on this Spyderco as well, since we already got it out. I'm working on the top switch. The M3 knife here, the handle is leather stacked, round, very similar to, the Mark II K-bar knife that's very famous. Probably more famous than the M3, because I would say the K-bar has had more of a lasting effect as it's a more utilitarian blade than the M3. Does this really, look at that. This is a dagger blade. They just didn't sharpen it all the way. Yeah, let's do the main edge. All right, maybe we'll switch over to step 2, the Spyderco process. Just the flat side of these stones. We'll go back to that top edge. Okay, I can feel the difference in how the edge is gliding along these stones, which means we're smoothing it out, making it sharper. All right, let's switch over to the main edge here. Who knows the last time that this knife was sharpened? Maybe not since 1945. You never know. Because it really, you know, the parkerized finish has worn some, but it really doesn't appear to have been used too much. So I think my friend Danny here got himself a good knife. Now, if you see here, the belt loop attachment, the canvas part, is quite boogered up. So I am wondering how some folks who like these vintage knives would act on this. Would you have this repaired or leave as is? You know, repaired means you can use this vintage M8 sheath and carry this knife for whatever reason. Or should my friend just buy a reproduction sheath from Amazon if he wants to carry it and leave the original intact? I think you're supposed to have this on here to get a better grip on the Spyderco here. Get it towards the tip here a little more. All right, let us move on to Spyderco step 3. I want to use the corners of those white stones there. Step back here a second. All right, back to work. All right. Switch to the main edge here. I think we still got a ways to go on this main edge. Danny, these old knives you send me, they are a bugger to sharpen. All right, let's switch to the last step here. Okay, back edge. Yeah. My hand's getting tired. All right. On to the main edge. My number one advice in knife sharpening: don't let your knife get this dull. If you use your knife a little bit and that edge isn't hair popping sharp at the end of the day, I would say definitely strop that thing on leather. And that should bring back a hair popping edge after some light use. And then hopefully you don't have to use like a coarse grit stone. All right, we're getting better here. We can cut paper now. Now it's still a bit of a rough cut, so I may go through these. Yeah, see, that's it's not great. It's still tearing pretty good, but that means we're getting better with the edge. So we might go through the 4 what's that say? Spyderco. We might go through the Spyderco steps again from the beginning. But that is, how we're sharpening up this knife. So we'll come back so this video doesn't get any longer than it already has for sharpening the knife, and see how it finishes up. Okay, so I figured, I kind of found out through going through that the edge angle on this is a higher angle than like the 20 degrees that the Spyderco allows for. So I went back to the Work Sharp Precision Adjust and put more like between a 22 to 25 degree angle on this edge. Now this, I'll have to go back through maybe some other videos that the M3, it's not really meant for slicing, There's no belly on this blade. It is meant for that, not slicing potatoes for your dinner. This is a 100% combat knife, but Danny, I think we got a good edge on it for you, so we'll get this back to you probably within the next few days. I'll try to get it shipped out, but hope you're happy with the edge. And if you want to carry this knife, I recommend maybe getting a reproduction sheath. You don't want them, I wouldn't, well, you can't carry it, as is, but yeah, get a reproduction sheath. I would probably, if you want to carry it, yeah, definitely get reproduction. I wouldn't repair that and carry it, because then you don't have the original World War II canvas threads or nylon thread or whatever it is, and you compromise a historical piece from being 100% historical. So that's my thoughts and opinions. We got a nice pokey tip here and that top swedge. It's a very cool knife, very, very cool, iconic from World War II. especially with those paratroopers, the Band of Brothers crew, and all that. So we'll get this back out to you. And thank you all for watching. I know this was a long video, sharpening and sharpening away on this knife edge that is a solid 80 years old. So take care. We'll see you on the next video.